Hi everybody, my name is Bruce and welcome to the second video of my amateur watch blog. Really excited to bring to you a great watch today, the Rolex GMT Master 2. This one here being the model 116710 BLNR with the two-color ceramic bezel, which is something to really get excited about. We'll talk about it in a minute. Just to give you a brief history on the GMT model, originally developed by Rolex back in the 1950s for Pan American pilots flying across vast oceans and time zones so that they would be able to quickly look at their wrist and keep track of the different time zones that they were flying into. And this watch has evolved a lot over the years, but if you place an original one beside this one, you'll see more similarities than differences. And that's something that I've said before that I've really liked about Rolex watches is the heritage and the subtle changes over the time, but also keeping with the tradition that when you design a really nice timepiece, don't change it too much. So let's get right to the party piece of the watch. This watch has been talked about for a couple of years now since it was introduced at Bezel in 2013. The big stir was the two-color ceramic bezel. So as a lot of you are probably familiar, classic GMTs were offered quite a bit with a two-color bezel, either a black and red or a blue and red bezel. This one is the first one ever to have a black and blue bezel, which at first might seem like an odd choice, but it really gives the watch a very sporty appearance, and nobody does blue quite like Rolex. The bezel, I like to call it a high-tech bezel, and it's not high-tech in the sense that you would think, say, maybe an Apple Watch is high-tech, but just in the way it's made. It is one piece of ceramic, and what Rolex has done is they've managed to bake the ceramic using very high heat, and they're able to get two different colors on the one piece in the ceramic. Apparently this is quite a feat and quite hard to do. So these GMT Masters with the two-tone bezels are a little bit more rare than the GMTs with the single-tone bezel. The ceramic bezel also has many benefits. It's quite scratch proof and fade resistant over time, so this bezel will largely look the same as it does now in 50 years. The bezel itself, the colors are something to talk about. I mean, you have this really deep black here, and then this blue at the bottom. And one thing that I've noticed about the blue at the bottom is in bright sunlight, it is quite bright blue. It just pops right off the bezel there. But when I'm in the office or at a an evening function, in lower light, it's very subdued. It actually almost fades into a matte blue, matte dark blue. So they've really gotten it right with this bottom half blue bezel. And of course, the black is meant to signify the evening hours, and the blue is meant to signify the earlier hours of the day, hence the different numbers there. The numbers are actually etched into the bezel in platinum, which is another nice touch, and again lends to the durability of the bezel as well. The other thing that I really like about it in typical Rolex fashion is the way that the bezel turns. You get this really nice solid click, and it feels like there's just a billion ball bearings in there working well lubricated to give you that consistent feel every time. And I've been wearing this watch for 2 years, and the bezel still feels as crisp and new as the day I got it. And really just a typical Rolex quality feature there. So moving on to the dial. The dial contrasts the bright blue bezel, or the two-tone bezel, by being completely black. It is a very flat kind of enamel type black, very serious, and matches the deepness of the black top bezel insert here. You've got really nice, easy to read, large markers and hands there. And then I think Rolex has gotten a little bit playful with this watch, both with the two-color bezel, but also the GMT hand, as you can see here, is a nice, thin, bright blue line on the contrast of the black bezel. So very playful, very sporty, when you look at the details. As far as the case goes, again, no surprises here. This is the current Rolex Super case, very solid, very powerful looking case. You know, it is actually quite imposing. The GMT is got a nice profile to it. You see the oyster case in the back there. It is waterproof to 100 meters, just like all Rolex oysters. And Rolex has chosen to fit the triplock winding crown to the GMT. Not entirely sure why they've done that, but it definitely lends to the vault-like solidity of the watch. I like that the crown guards are there, but they're almost a little bit for show, because the triplock winding crown is so big that it just kind of explodes right out of there. Again, very, very masculine, very powerful looking watch because of the case. The movement inside, we're not going to get too technical, but this is the 3186 perpetual movement, so wind it and wear it. If you wear it forever, you'll never have to wind it again. Really cool feature of the GMT that makes it easy to set is the jump hour hand. So you pull the crown out a little bit there, and you can jump the hour hand forward and backward to easily change for different time zones. Again, masterpiece of engineering. It really makes the watch a smartwatch despite not being electronic. The bracelet is the oyster bracelet. You find this on all GMT masters. I'd like to see them maybe offer a Jubilee style bracelet in the future, because the classic GMTs were available with that. But this oyster bracelet, you can't fault. Modern oyster bracelet with the solid end links and the clasp, of course, typical solid Rolex oyster clasp there. That thing's not coming off your wrist anytime soon. Very beautiful, solid looking bracelet, and functionally, again, like a lot of oyster bracelets, you've got the easy link extension, so you can increase or decrease the length of the bracelet quite easily. Only problem with the bracelet, I mean, it's not a problem because the watch looks stunning with the polished center links here, just like on the Datejust. But after 2 years, and they might not show up too much in this video, but you can see the wear and tear, hairline scratches and things on them. And for an OCD watch guy like me, that might just be enough to bug me a little bit. They could probably offer the watch with a fully brushed bracelet. But again, the GMT, a little dressier than the Submariner, so I think that's why they did the differentiation there. Definitely a little bit more sparkle to this watch. So, in closing, at the end of the day, the GMT Master 2, it really makes a statement with its pedigree, design, and heritage, and of course the quality that we mentioned there in the whole watch. Simultaneously, it provides a fresh take on the pilot's watch while being a great watch for anybody to wear, again, with casual clothes or formal clothes. And I really enjoy wearing this watch day after day, and I always continue to discover new perspectives and nuances on it. I really would recommend this watch to people who are looking for, a singular fine timepiece that they can depend on for years, or even as a diverse addition to a large collection. I think the GMT really has earned its merit in the world, and I'm really happy to own one. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully there will be more to come. Talk to you later.